Hey, Brooke.
Can I read you the Bible story about Elijah?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm tired.
Okay, maybe later. Hey, Brew. Can I read you the Bible story about Elijah? I can. Will you come listen to it? I don't have any kids to tell the story to today. I need to read the story to somebody. Come here, Rue. Come on. Tallulah, can I read the Bible story to you? Will you listen? You will? Okay. This week's Bible lesson is about a man named Elijah who was also a prophet. And a prophet is someone who talks to God, they hear God's voice, and God tells them what he wants the people to know. And so this is Elijah, the man with white hair, and the angry man with the crown on is King Ahab. So you are going to learn a little bit more about these two men this week and a little bit more about God and how he is in control of everything. So after Samuel, David, and Solomon died, God's people were split into two kingdoms, Israel in the north and Judah in the south. King Ahab ruled over Israel. He did many things that God said were wrong. He worshipped idols and did more evil than any of the kings before him. So God sent Elijah the prophet to teach Ahab a lesson. Elijah told Ahab that there would be no rain for many years. This made Ahab very angry. So Elijah runs away from King Ahab. Elijah had to run away from Ahab and camp near a brook. God sent birds to bring the prophet food. In my Bible, it actually says that God sent ravens to feed Elijah. And raven starts with the letter R, raven. When the brook dried up, a brook is like a river or a creek, God told Elijah to go ask a certain woman for food. I only have enough left for one meal for me and my son, she said. Elijah said, cook for me first, and you'll be all right. So she did. Whose God is real is the next part. 3 years passed with no rain. Finally, God told Elijah to go meet King Ahab. So remember, Elijah had left, and then now God says, go back. There you are, you big troublemaker, said the king. But it was really the king who had caused the trouble, because if you remember, the king was worshiping idols. And God says there's only one true God. Let's see whose God is real, Elijah said. So the king's prophets built one altar to their God, and Elijah built an altar to his God. They put offerings on each of them. Then they prayed and waited to see whose God would answer their prayers by sending fire to burn up the sacrifice. Do you think the fake gods of the prophets were going to speak and burn up? Or do you think our God, the one and only God, was going to send fire? Let's find out. The king's prophets screamed their fake gods to send fire. No fire came. Elijah teased, pray louder. They did, but nothing happened. When they stopped, Elijah had water poured over everything on the altar he had built. Then he prayed to God in heaven to send fire. So you guys, what happens when you pour water on something? Can fire burn? No. Usually you use water to put out a fire. So there was water all over Elijah's altar. But look what still happens. Fire came down. It burned up the offering, the stones, and the water. Then the people knew Elijah's God was the most powerful. So in our Bible it says, when Elijah prayed again, it began to rain. How do you think the king felt about that? It doesn't say this in the Read and Share Bible, but in my Bible that has a lot more words in it, it tells me that Elijah continued to pray, and he kept praying. He got down on his hands and his knees and he prayed to God. And he had a servant, and he sent his servant to go look out over the water. See, they are up on a mountain here in this picture, and that mountain is called Mount Carmel. So he had his servant go look out over the mountain, which overlooked water, and the servant came back and said, I see a small cloud over the water. So Elijah kept sending his servant, go look again, go look again. And that small cloud turned into rain. And that's where our Bible verse for the week comes from. I will send you rain in its season. Can you guys say the Bible verse with me? We're going to say I, because I in this verse is God. And you know, this is the sign for God. I will send you rain in its season. You remember from sign language, the word for season? This is season. I will send you rain in its season. Practice that this week. Tallulah, can you say the Bible verse? Can you say it for me? Well, at least you're still awake. I'm not sure that Rue is still awake. No, you're still awake. Good.